El Balón de Oro 2023 de France Football es Lionel Messi.
Para Leo Messi, señoras y señores, 8 balones de oro tiene este señor.
Y decir que es último.
No, nunca
se puede decir exactamente.
Pues yo sí me atrevo a decirlo, Sí me atrevo a decirlo.
Si da la sensación de que es difícil.
Este ya era algo que probablemente no imaginábamos demasiado, cuanto más imaginar otro más, pero desde luego que este ya roto.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, whenever we do see this video. It's Jackson Bryan, your boy again, with Randy Savage. With another episode of GZ Sports saying, Vamos, my friend.
Vamos. How are you doing today, my friend?
Well, I mean, we could drop the big secret that's been going on in this country. You know, there was an earthquake on Monday. Yeah, some people's places ain't good. Some people themselves are shaken up. No pun intended, but really. I mean, I counted about 6 of my co-workers I had to hold up because they had panic attacks. I told one of my friends jokingly that this might be a terrorist attack actually because, you know, an earthquake. I'm okay. I know about that, but then the cell service went down and everybody's outside. I was telling him just keep looking up, bro. Just keep looking up. I don't know. Just keep looking up. And then yesterday, I was like 4 people fainting. I have no idea why. So yeah, Jamaicans have been dying. Jamaicans have been dying. But
Give me one.
I have no idea why. Oh boy.
I mean, the biggest terrorists in Jamaica would be the JFF. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the ones that do that. They just wanted to take us away from the fact that they haven't had elections in many moons, and the fact that they still haven't paid the girls they claim to, but we all know that's not true, you know. So let's be real, they just did that solely to get our minds off of it. But yeah, in all fairness though, it was quite a strong quake. It wasn't really devastatory class, like catastrophic, but you know, it's still something. And people were acting so extra. I don't want to say extra, but people were acting so extra, like people fainting. Have y'all not have do none of y'all have fat people for family? You know, when they're going upstairs and they're stepping on the stage, it's just all the whole place is just going down. And like, do none of y'all have that? I mean, I'm just joking, but like, damn, it was strong though. I understand the panic, but I don't get the response. People were I don't really see what was happening. As far as we're concerned, there were no injuries, there were no deaths, minor property damage. So we just have to thank God that it wasn't any more serious than that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, as one of my friends, listen, I had a friend up there at the building, and like he came in at 10:57, and when the earthquake, I can tell you this for free, when the earthquake happened, he left at 10:56. That's how fast he was. I can guarantee he's faster than Marcus Rashford. I have no doubts about that after seeing that. Man was insane. This man is 6'2" and was running faster than freaking Usain Bolt. I told him to hurry up and change his sport because he can't be playing basketball with that speed. No way.
Nah,
he shouldn't play basketball with that speed. But anyway, we need to get back on track. Get back into what we are supposed to be doing. Thanks again for the continuous support, guys. A team that does need all your support, Manchester United. We already know. You know, this is being recorded on Saturday, so we haven't seen the Sunday results. Don't know if Luton have beaten Liverpool or whatever. But United have been going through it. 3-0 loss in the derby. 3-0 loss to Newcastle. It's all going wrong for United. They won today, which is great. You know, beating Fulham at Craven Cottage. Another late winner, as we normally do against Fulham anyway. It's Fulham. But there are people that I've seen saying Ten Hag out, saying, oh, change the manager, change this, change that, it will work. 2 things. One, he's just become the quickest manager, or joint quickest to 50 wins in the club's history. And 2, do Do people actually think the players that are selected for Man United are good players or world class players? I mean, Sir Alex coached 26 years at United, and he said there were only three world class players he coached: Ryan Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo, and David Beckham. And this man had Van Nistelrooy, he had Van Persie, he had Wayne Rooney, and he didn't consider them world class. So over to you and this Manchester misery slash mood swings. Where do you see United pushing on from here? I mean, right now, as results hold, they will be in eighth. They'll still be in eighth. Newcastle are beating Arsenal right now. Where do they go from here? I mean, they're not far off the top.
Okay, well, I won't want to speak about the match that happened today, but because I want to explain on that further down in my section. However, I will talk about the 3-0 batterings that we got. Quite frankly, the team was not organized. They had no guile. They had no vision. They were being very sloppy in defense. Um, the fullbacks were constantly getting caught out. I mean, the only good thing about the teams in those losses were Harry Maguire and Onana, and I know that's kind of crazy saying, right? Who would have thought? Although we did lose those matches anyways, but what is happening in Manchester United is not something that a manager can fix instantly. It is something that's going to take time. It's something that's going to take effort, not only from the manager, but the players and the fans as well. Not to mention the ownership, which we know is already dead, gone, and dusted in for our club. What I need us to do if we are to reshape these systems, if we are to reshape these systems, if we are to reshape everything, we have to go at the root of the problem, the source of the problem, which I believe is one, players who feel like they're bigger than the club. Two, the Glazers and their violent extortion of our history. And three, the fans who think protesting is considered to paying exorbitant prices for ticket fees and then leaving halfway. That is not how you do things. We need to eradicate this culture of mediocrity present in the Manchester United dressing room. We saw it with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A lot of people called out against it was Ole out. I was never Ole out until the last couple matches really. When he constantly kept losing, I was never Ole out because I understood what Ole was doing. It was a system. It was going to take time. These people calling for the man who won them their first trophy in 6 years, less than about 5 or 6. No, is it 6 months? Yeah, about less than that later to get
Mm-hmm.
sacked when he's the quickest, as you said, joint quickest to reach 50 wins. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Why
In the
on earth would you do that? He's only working in what he has. Sure, he's made some horrible purchases. Sure, the team isn't looking like Manchester City. But do you expect the team to look like Manchester City when the players themselves wouldn't even be playing for Burnley? Think to yourself. There's only 2 or 3 players in this team right now that they deserve some level of commendation, and they are Scott McTominay, Rasmus Holland. Even though he hasn't scored, I can see this man becoming a really, really, really amazing striker. Right? He's still young. He has a lot of room to improve. And I think that first goal is just what he needs to push. And the final player who I think deserves some level of credit for what he has been doing so far is Bruno Fernandes. Now, I know Bruno's whining and all of that sort of stuff, but he's genuinely been okay for us, really. Right? He's been okay compared to the other mediocrity that we have in this team right now. He is actually good compared to them. Honorable mentions include, I know, crazy as it seems, Harry Maguire, who has been pretty solid at the back for us this season so far, and the other man at the back who early controversies seemingly calming down a bit now is Andre Onana. Manchester United needs a reshape. It needs a rebuild. We need a team. We need an owner who can come in and support the manager and his decision. We need to offload the dead weight. If we got rid of David De Gea, we can get rid of Sancho, right? If we got rid of David De Gea, we can get rid of Diogo Dalot because Dalot is not up to scratch, right? I'm sorry, but he's just not up to scratch to play for Manchester United, right? And if you can get rid of all of them, then surely we can use the 2 eyes that God gave us, except for the blind listeners. We can use the 2 eyes that God gave us to realize that Marcus Rashford is not world class. He is not world class. He at best is a Premier League player. He is no better than Son. He is no better than. I think he's actually the same quality as Alex Iwobi. I'm sorry. I am sorry, but I just think it's true. And I'm turning over to you, Jackson, because I've ranted long enough.
No, look, listen. You know me and Rashad already. He's nothing. Like I told people that Solskjaer still deserves a statue for making people think Rashad was good. Like
Exactly.
it's a touchy topic because if you go against the English boy, then it's a whole problem now. And you know we're not English, so we don't get the benefit of the doubt for anything.
Hey, we were colonized, you know. We were
Yeah,
English before them, big
listen,
man.
they won't take it. They won't take it. They'll say no. They won't accept it.
And
But
wait, we have to go against the status quo here. The status quo here is acknowledging when a player's shit has been shit. As I always said, Solskjaer was the best coach we had post Fergie. I know that's crazy saying, but he's the best coach we've had post Fergie. He made Martial score 20 something goals in a season. Imagine that. Anthony Martial stayed fit for a season under Solskjaer. Rashford got 20 goals in that season as well, and then we all thought it was coming. In the initial phase of the season, we were winning games 7-2, 6-1, 5-0. You remember that period being a Manchester United fan, the pure bliss. Going up against Manchester City, knocking 3 past them, thinking we're back. And then the same player entitlement and the same status quo politics in this football club came up, and it brought us all the way back down again.
yeah, it has, and you know, for even outsiders who don't really know about the club, saying you know we always moan about the Glazers, whatever. All I have to say about that is Newcastle were changing managers every week under Mike Ashley. He's out now. They moved from relegation to Champions League. They've beaten PSG. They've gone toe to toe with Dortmund. They've held AC Milan, and that's just change of ownership because a lot of the players that were here under Rafa Benitez are still here,
He's still
barring
here.
Callum Wilson, um, Anthony Gordon, and I'm trying to think of the fit ones. Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes was actually bought when Rafa was still here. So it's not really that much a change team. It's just change of ownership and look at them now. So you can't tell me the Glazers when they go or if they ever go won't make Manchester United great again.
Nah, man, they have to go someday. Remember, we're still humans. They have to die someday.
Listen, I don't know if they're from Romania. I don't know if they're vampires. I don't know, bro. I don't know. We've never seen them in the sun.
I mean, they're blood sucking. I mean, they're blood sucking, rich entitled old men. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were Count Dracula.
Exactly. But you know, that's enough of United. We could speak more on the Premier League. We're staying in there, and VAR, video assistant referee, or does it mean something else? Because I'm sorry, I don't know how you can disallow some goals, how you can call some things fouls and some not. Some things are red, some are not. Some are not even bookable offenses. I don't know, but when will it end, Robbie? I have no idea. I don't have an idea because the referees. Look, I remember VAR when it was firstly introduced in the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga was good, everything. It came to England, and I remember Mark Clattenburg saying it once. The problem isn't the technology; it's that the referees don't know how to look at a replay. That's fucking sad. They can't watch a replay and tell you what happened.
Okay, yeah, that is very true. VR in the Premier League has been the worst experience with technology I ever had. I'm with a professor in university now, and he's like, if you can show me one good thing technology has done, I will give you all A's. I'm not showing him a VR replay. No way. VR is shit. In the Premier League, it is rubbish. It is arse. It is dark shite. It is absolute. It's not Marcus Rashford all over again. It's just so tragic. It is so tragic. They ruled out the goal today, right? That's the first time I've heard of a subjective offside. Even if Harry Maguire did not, Harry Maguire was actually pushed in the back by the very same defender who was trying to get back. He was pushed in the back,
Which
which
should have been a
propelled him
penalty.
forward, which should have even been a penalty, right? And then VAR, it's subjective offside. So they call back the goal because it was subjective. The man wouldn't even have gotten there if Maguire wasn't there. And even if Maguire was there, we saw what happened. The guy pushed Maguire to the floor and nothing came of it. And then you're looking at Arsenal, West Ham, Arsenal, Newcastle United. The ball was clearly out of play. The man, what was his name? Rice? Was it Rice? Was clearly fouled.
Gabriel.
And then they went, huh?
It was Gabriel.
Oh, it was Gabriel Magalhaes, yeah. Gabriel was clearly fouled, right? And they went on to score, and you do not call that back. Y'all need some eyes. Y'all need eyes. And I don't mean like, I'm sorry. I might be too harsh. And y'all have the gall to say you're a Great Britain. Yeah, bitch, you ain't great. You know better than Ice Spice on Halloween night. You're nothing. I don't get why they feel like this league can be the best league in the world. If they're y'all made decisions beforehand. Fine, fair. If there was no technology and we were making these decisions, it would be, although it would still be upsetting and infuriating, at least we could say, okay, it's not that bad because it's human error. But no, y'all got you have technology aid. You have the aid in technology. You have tech assistance, and y'all are arguably doing much worse now than you were before. I'm stunned. I'm shocked. At this point, I just think they should rename VAR to what it to be this acronym: WTFCANW, and that means whatever the fuck City and Newcastle want, because that's the only thing I see them giving. They're not making any other logical decisions.
Look in the Newcastle game, because it's over, it ended 1-0. There were 3 VAR checks on one goal. First they checked, was the ball out of play? And I saw one still image, done, move on. And I was like, that's not the out of play shit. I don't know what they're checking. They were checking a possible foul. I was like, okay. Then I saw them checking possible offside. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't think you're allowed 3 different checks in one VAR. I don't think that's allowed. I mean, and the word was they were going to give it as offside, but there was no conclusive evidence of where and when the ball was placed. So they don't know if Gordon was off or not. So they're telling me they have one camera angle, just one camera angle for that. Listen, VAR is rubbish. VAR is rubbish in England. Let's put it that way. I don't hear about this in Spain. I've watched the Serie A today. Don't see those issues. I've watched the Bundesliga. Don't see those issues. It's just England. And it's about time people realize that they might have some of the best players in the world in the league, but until they get proper referees, the league's gonna go to shit. Like, people are gonna watch it for the players, but the referee's gonna make it go to shit.
Yeah, and pointing to history, remember when we were playing against Brighton, and the ball that was clearly inconclusive, they deemed it to be conclusively out of play. And when we scored, how is the Newcastle one inconclusively out? My grandma with stage 5 glaucoma could have seen that was out. Stevie Wonder could have interpreted that was out from the reaction of the fans.
Bro, listen, there's little that we can do against VAR because, the refs are all up in their own asses, so they don't really care about what the fans or anybody else says. If you realize all they do, I mean, look at Michael Oliver. How is he still in that job? I can tell you now, he could be running the JFF because he's just fully corrupted. But listen, bro. Listen, there's nothing more we can do, right? The English fans themselves are trying to fix this. It's not working. I mean, they're not going to really listen to the foreign fans. They already have a problem with us. They don't really like much of the players that are not English in the league anyway, right? But to a league where things are actually good. And it was the day of the Klassiker. Bayern, Dortmund. Kane scored a hat-trick. He set a new record in Bayern, most goals through 10 matches.
Wait, did he score a hat-trick?
Oh yes, he did. Yes,
Did it end 4-0?
fucking did. Oh
He
yes.
scored. He ended 4. I left it at 3-0.
Oh well, yes. Time does fly.
All I'm saying, this
Time
has to be
does.
the most one-sided affair. This had to be the most one-sided affair in football history since Will Smith and Jaden Pinkett split, because I don't know whoever called this a rivalry needs. I mean,
And
I like Dortmund. I like them. They're a very likable club, but I mean, bloody holding on to strings.
the thing was, the game wasn't really that bad, right? Bayern 51% possession. It was Bayern having 14 shots, Dortmund having 15. The key thing was only one from Dortmund on target, while 8 for Bayern were on target. So they can't fucking finish. That's the problem. They can't shoot properly.
It's
You
just
know?
crazy. Like this league is considered top 5 when quite frankly, no more than 2 or 3 of their teams can survive in even Spain. You know, they won't win the league in Spain. Definitely not in Serie A. Might have a chance. Yeah, they might have a chance in League On. But
Mhm.
this league is so one-sided. 11 years. I am 21 years old. Since I was 11 years old, or was it 10? Yeah, since I was 10 years old, these figures have been winning the league ever since, and I'm 21 now.
Mhm.
That's domination. That's like a wicked form of colonization if I've ever seen it. Because y'all are in the same country, and y'all are still just utter shit. It's two worlds apart. It's just two whole worlds, two whole perspectives. I'm sorry, Dortmund. I like y'all, right? But Favre was the best chance y'all had at anything, and y'all sacked him. So I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but you get what you deserve.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we can talk about the domination of Bayern. We can talk about the palpitations or the death of Dortmund. But Harry Kane hat trick. He's showing that he can do it anywhere. I mean, people were saying Jude Bellingham for Ballon d'Or 2024, but Kane, if Bayern do win the Champions League or even England winning a trophy, is it? Could it be the Englishman? Could he actually lift the Ballon d'Or? Does he even have a chance?
Yes, actually he does. If he wins the Champions League, that means he'd have to probably beat a Barcelona, normal for Bayern. That means he'd have to probably beat a Real Madrid. That means he'd probably have to be better than Liverpool. That means he'd have to be better than the mighty and all-time favorites, Newcastle United. Um, I think that if he genuinely wins the trophy with Bayern and he wins the European double, being a league title and the Champions League, and he's the main man in the two squads, then sure, this is why I say he might deserve to win the Ballon d'Or, because the difference between Kane and 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 um and Haaland is that Kane is actually the main man in the squad. Haaland is not, and I think that if he wins that, or arguably he may get the Golden Boot over Sekou Girassi, who's been extremely amazing this season, then I think he deserved it. I mean, he'd still have to contend with the likes of Haaland, as I said, um,
Mbappe.
Mbappe, Jude Bellingham. Of course, if they all have good seasons, then and of course you have to with Messi winning the Copa America next year, they'll have to think about him as well. So, y- you know, um, but yeah, I think he has a solid chance, maybe a 1 in 4 chance. If he does win both of them, maybe a 1 in 4 chance.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about goals in the Bundesliga. Don't forget Victor Boniface from Bayer Leverkusen. Right now, they're top of the league. Mr. Xavi Alonso keeping them unbeaten. They scored about, 54 goals since the start of the season. That's outrageous numbers, and it's only November. But no,
Yes.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, about that.
Hmm.
Say that again.
No, I was just saying, Bayern Munich, they're coming for that league title again.
Yeah, I mean, currently they're like second in the league or third, but I think that they can do it. I think that they can get this done. I don't want them to get this done because it would be the most hilarious shit in the world if he went to a farmers league and lost. Okay, you know what I mean? And I'd love if Tottenham won it because it would be the most hilarious shit in the world. But at the same time, certain things just aren't meant to be. Right now, the script writers are doing something so miraculous. They're going to make Tottenham lead the table all the way until the last 3 game weeks, and then they lose every single game, and City get the 9 points they need. That's just what's going to happen.
Exactly. We already know. We already know. Probably even Newcastle is the team they're writing for. We don't know.
Yep, this is like a Marvel movie. We already know what's gonna happen before it happens.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Anyway, we have to move on, and it's enough of these European bullshitters. We have to come down to Jamaica locally to speak about the bullshit here, which is even worse. The election for the JFF has been called. It was an emergency meeting held on the 1st, and they shit the pants and they had to call a date. So they called for January 14th, between the 14th and the 16th. I have no idea which it actually is because I'm seeing a lot of conflicting reports, and that's just locally. Normally, we just have one straight report. But yeah, so between that time to have the election, and will my crickets stay, or will it be Raymond Anderson taking over? Now, as I've previously stated, I prefer if there is a third person in the race that's not related to the previous regime because of the complicitness that's gone beforehand. And that's what I don't like, But your thoughts, it's going to be on the 14th. We're going to see the campaigns. Do you have any favorites? Anybody you think would be a good fit?
Okay, personally speaking, I'm not so sure who can help the JFF anymore. I just think the board itself needs to go. It's like a similar issue with the Glazers, where I think that this is more of a fundamental issue than the man who is just in charge. You know what I'm saying? I think the board is just finding another scapegoat to pin the blame on. Whenever they do well, they take credit. Whenever they don't do well, they put a scapegoat. As for favorites, I'm not really seeing any clear cut ones. Um, s- but they're the usual, as you said. Personally speaking, as you said, I would love to see a third party come into the play, someone who has nothing to do with the current regime. And yeah, I don't really have anybody on mind. Of course, Horace Burrell is already dead, so can't bring him back. Um, maybe what's his name again? The guy from oh my days, I remember his name. He's a little bit chubby, round in the face, a mohawk looking ass hairstyle.
Who the hell?
Yeah, oh my days, I forgot his name, but he used to coach Humble Lions.
He used to coach from Milan.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, is it
I-
Humble? The ones that wear the green, they're Humble Lions, right?
yeah, I mean, they do wear green, yeah. But I have no
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about.
Oh my, I'm gonna have to get back to the fans with him, but I think he'd be a good fit. I've seen his tactics. It's really well, and he does look like he knows how to run things at the club when he was there. So I just think we just need a change. That give another man a chance. Give a younger person. Give somebody that actually has something to gain out of doing well the role. If you give old men who are going to die in 15 years anyway to enrich themselves, then they won't necessarily play good. If you give a man who can build this system for life, then I'd much rather that.
Yeah, and I don't trust the JFF either. But listen, it's I don't know where we can put this in regards to the type of people they are in charge of the JFF. I've never had trust for those people ever, and that's hard, considering they do lead the football in the country. Um, but enough of one Jamaican depressing news story to a different one, and it's the regular schoolboy football. We're in that time of the year anyway, and boy. So Wolmers, our former school, they've been eliminated. St. Catherine High took them out in the former or the past round. That is 5-1 on aggregate, 2-0 the first leg, 3-0, 3-1 in the second, and it's disappointing to say the least. I mean, we'll go through we'll go through the rest of the teams and who's left and who's the favorites soon. But Stav, we have to just speak about the Wolmerians and see what really is the problem. Was it Jerome? Is he not a good enough coach for this level, even though we've seen what he did at Charlie Smith? Is it the boys too spoiled and can't take this type of pressure? What actually happened with this team?
This team, this Wolmerian team, as we've said, just do not have the mental capacity to win trophies. Jerome is not a bad coach. We've seen him do amazing stuff before, right? We've seen him, as you said, his exploits with Charlie Smith, that amazing few years in charge. I just think it's just a mentality. I think it's a mentality thing. These guys just don't have it in them. They don't have a winning bone in their body. To lose against St. Catherine High over two legs, 5-1 or even, is just absolutely disgraceful. I don't think anybody would seriously expect would have seriously expected that, because we were playing well. You know, we did do bits for the most part, but we just could never we just could never find the form that we needed since 2010, when I believe they won the Manning Cup. Was it? Jackson, please refresh my mind. They won the Manning Cup um over Georges, I believe, right? And since then, that's the last thing I've seen them win, except for the Super Cup. I'm lucky I actually witnessed that while being a member at the school, because at this point in time, they're never winning that thing again.
Hmm.
I just think it's the mentality, man. I think the boys just aren't ready for this. I think the boys just don't have the mentality that it takes. They don't have the winning mentality that a JC, for instance, have. They don't have the winning mentality that schools from the Da Costa Cup have. They just don't, and I think that's what's letting us down. Jerome is a good coach. We've seen it with Manchester United. It's not always the coach's fault. You have to pin some blame on the players as well.
Yeah, and listen, it's hard to know because look, we do speak highly of this team. Last season, we do know rightly they lost to, I think it was Mona High, and be honest, Mona High was an entire Phoenix Academy 11 basically. So it was always a tough task. We only lost 1-0. It was like watching Juventus versus Inter Milan in 2014. It's not a bad game, but we did hold our own. But we can't look. I've said this before. Like before we went to Wolmers, they were constantly in finals. They were always in competing for the trophies. They didn't win much, but they were always competing. When we went there and we had that defense line, including Nicochet Murray, Jawani Hines, and Scott Williams at the back, you looked at that team and you were like, that defense is enough. Rivaldo, Alfonso Gooden, that's a good team. We won the Super Cup, and that's all we won. I mean, we went to Wolmers for about 6 years, and we only won one trophy. And it's not looked any better since we've left. And I just have to think, do you think we need to, do you think, well, it's not a do you think, you've already said it, that Jerome isn't the problem. I don't think he is either. I think it's going to be crunch time, though, because I think we've said it before. There is homegrown talent, but they keep going out and getting players in, transferees, etc., which does hurt the school. I already know what happened in regards to the exams, so I won't bring that onto a sports show. It's difficult to watch as former, a former, a former member of the establishment. It's like you don't want anything to do with them now. But there are other things that we can focus on. Normally we would do that as Wolmers, actually. We would focus on a different thing and say, well, at least we got this, but we don't have anything. We actually don't have anything to look forward to. and it
That's
is
true.
it is bad. But let's not dwell on that school from Marasca Road. Kingston College, strong team, strong again. They beat Campion College after coming from 2 goals down to win the first leg. They beat them, I think it was 4-1 in the second leg, destroying the Campionites. And let's be honest, Campion are not supposed to even be at this level. Let's be real. That's not the level. They're fighting above their weight right now.
Yeah, very
Jamaica
true.
College, they're still in this, as you said, the mentality. They're still here. I mean, they can change managers every season; they'll still win the Money Cup. And Mona High, St George's College, St Andrew Technical, and Hydel High. Those are the teams that are still here, and Tivoli as well. I mean, it's the most open Manning Cup you can think of. Because look, for me, I think St George's are the favorites. You can't rule out Kingston College, though. You can't rule out Stats, and you definitely can't rule out Jamaica College. It's it's shaping up to be one hell of a tournament. Um, my question to you, because I've just been rambling though. Out of those eight, who is the most likely to actually go ahead and win the Manning Cup? As I can say, right now, Georges are up 1-0. The game started a few minutes ago. Well, not a few minutes, it's halftime. So they're up 1-0 against Tivoli right now.
Okay, so personally speaking, right? I'll have to say Casey. I hate Casey with a burning passion in my heart and soul, but so far I don't want to say Georges because that's the easiest pick, and I don't want to say an underdog team because we're putting unnecessary pressure on them. So I'm gonna go with a safe option. Casey, it's been really good. They haven't won it in a little bit of time. I don't want to say JC either because that's the most popular choice, really. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with them. As you said, I don't really have a team anymore in this competition since Wolmers is gone. Um, I'd love if Tivoli would win it, but my mind is telling me to go with Kingston College.
Yeah, we know why you like it to probably won it though. But listen, it's gonna be it's a hell of a tournament, bro. It's a hell that's left. I know we haven't really covered the Costa Cup. That's well because we're more urban area than we are. I mean, look, the Costa Cup has a lot of teams. I brought it to you, I think, last week. It's 42 to 78 in terms of teams. It's hard to follow all of them around. You have a lot of teams in the Costa Cup that concede 8 goals or more on a weekly basis. Not as much as Mona, but we will leave that for later. Just a final topic before Savage can get his chance. And Ronald Levy. Now, some people don't know who the hell this guy is. This is track and field. This is the 110-meter hurdles for men. Ronald Levy was what you could say the third best option for Jamaica at a point. We all know Omar McLeod who won titles. We knew Hansel Parchment who won titles. But Levy was that next guy up. And then he had a horrible injury. He had to do surgery. He was on his way back. He didn't make it to the World Championships last summer, or this summer actually. But he has failed the latest drug test found with the wrong substance, let's put it that way, in his system. No Papu Gomez, but he's found with something there, and he's facing a likely ban, which I think it will be around between 2 and 4 years from the sport. Levy's been out of this. He's just come back, and he's not really back. Um, you're one that knows track and field, not like a Bruce James or such, but you do know track and field. Um, we do still have McLeod. Parchment might be on the aging side in terms of who we have, but he's not that old. Rashid Broadbell has come up. If he didn't fall at the World Championships, it could have been what could have been. But with this drug ban, how do you think this will impact Levy? We see what's happening with Pogba in football, but how do you think this drug ban would impact Levy and even our sport on a whole? I mean, the men have been horrible since Usain has retired. So how does he think this will actually impact us going forward?
All right, so Levy, I kind of feel for him. As you said, it's been 2 years. He came off injury, and he's just gotten back, and not really even back, and now he has to wait another 2 years. I think that what he needs to do is to slowly try to recover his body in the next 2 years. We know he's not so old as that 2 years will be an end to his entire track and field career, but we also know that he isn't so young, so that he has that much time after this ban is up to really make a mark for himself. Wrong substance in his body, similar to Paul Pogba, both getting bans. It's a fair judge, a fair assessment, but I do feel for him. I think we're gonna have to look through our ranks for our next person that we can probably make step up to fill McLeod's or Parchment's boots. Well, massive boots really. Um, and unfortunately, for the next 2 years, maybe possibly it would not be him. His only choice right now is to find a club that is willing to work with him, to put in the training, and to do their absolute best in order to do anything, because right now he has no other further prospects.
Yeah, and from sources close to the player. Well, I'm saying player like it is actually football right now, but yeah, it's saying that he's actually very stunned. That's his words, right? Because his B sample got tested, they found some substance. I'm trying to see if I can find out what substance it was because I wasn't hearing anything about it in terms of what it is. But he said he stuns. He's always he always tries to defend his integrity. He's not a cheat, what etc. etc. All those generic things that people do say after failing a drug test. We heard it from Gatlin and all those Americans before, and also from some of the Russians. Um, but yeah, it is for him a horrible situation that he's in. For us, the good thing is that right now it's not say he made the World Championships and now he's out, but it's still rough. It is still rough. Good thing is we do have people coming through. As I said, Broadbell, Dejo Russell is still an athlete, so we'll hope that they do come good in the future. But enough of my rambling. We'll take a quick break. Savage will be back with the slaughterhouse. We already know. But yeah, we'll be back in about 30 seconds, and you'll have your host.
Hey, welcome guys again to the GZ Sports Transfer Roundup with your host, Randy Savage, accompanied by the man, the myth, the short king himself, Jackson Brian Jackson.
Bro, I'm
How
taller
are you
than you.
doing? He's so short.
I'm
How are
taller.
you doing? Well, what's your height? What's your height? Let's start off with that.
Oh, bro, listen. I don't have enough time to go through that meme right now, man. Just start your show. I was gonna go through that meme, but just start your show, man. We're good, man.
All right. Give me 1 second. So the first topic of the day is that Manchester United scraping a narrow 1-0 victory over, what was the name again? Fulham. Sorry.
Bro,
Manchester
you
United
cannot forget the Fulham, lad. You cannot forget the Fulham.
scraping a narrow 1-0 victory over Fulham today, courtesy to a late goal by Bruno Mikel Borges Fernandes in the 90 plus first minute. Jackson, people are upset about some very questionable VAR calls that have been made today, and I do share their level of dismay, of anger. But it's a good result nonetheless. The team actually looked good. I mean, minus Aaron Wan-Bissaka that left Harry Maguire wide open, almost like a no. I can't say that. I can't.
I'd
I
say
will
that.
not. I
I
will
know
not say
where
that.
you're going already.
A certain Lebanese person with glasses will probably know. Um, but yeah, he left him wide open, and that was the first shot really. Onana, solid. They didn't really have much to do. Rasmus Højlund did well. And Alejandro Garnacho, I think, deserves to be starting more games because Rashford isn't doing jack shit, and he actually played really decently as well. They stole an assist from him. He should have gotten that assist. McTominay, always big Scotty boy, you know. Jackson, what do you make of this performance today? And do you think this is a turn in our fortunes?
Yeah, well, listen. I would hope it's a turn in fortunes because the next game is against FC Copenhagen in the Champions League, and that's a must win. Then you have Luton, and no one wants to be losing to Luton Town. Nobody wants to be doing that. Um, Look, we've spoken about VAR. We have no idea when it will actually end. The decision could have been 2-0. It could have even been 4. Who knows? But it's a good win for Manchester United. They needed this. Eric Ten Hag needed this to get those idiot pundits off his back who said he's no good coach. I mean, guy had a 74% win percentage last season. I mean, what more do you want? You can't really do much better than that. But yeah, it hopefully it's a turning point. I mean, you've seen Andre Onana when he started, it was horrible. In the last few weeks, he has been excellent. I mean, look, he's conceded 6 in the last 2 games, apart from the Fulham one, but he's been excellent. Harry Maguire, cut over the eye, it doesn't matter. He still sees the game properly. Johnny Evans, let's be real, none of us thought Johnny Evans would be in this position, but he's doing what he can. Rafa Varane back from injury. The problem is Casemiro won't be fit. I mean, he's out until probably the new year. It's awful, but you know, it's sad for Fulham. You know, we still respect you guys. We still respect you guys, but you know, up the United, Bruno Magnifico, Manchester United.
Captain Fantastic, stealing that from Vincent Company. And moving on to another Manchester City player, Super Doku. Nope, you heard it right. I'm not saying Goku, I'm saying Doku.
Mm-hmm.
Doku today versus Burnley racked up 4 assists and a goal. That is more goal contributions in one match that Marcus Rashford has had in 17. Do you know how mental that? I just want to say it's a shout out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, in a short 30 seconds, sum up that performance. I know we're Manchester United fans and we do not like City winning, but fair must be fair. When individual quality outshines that of any other on the pitch, you just have to give it to them. Sum up that performance.
Jeremy Doku. I mean, look, I'll be completely honest with you, right? So before City even signed him, I was like, why is he still at Rennes? Why don't United sign him? But then, you know, United are going to force Marcus to be our left winger, and I don't like that. And I said, why don't Chelsea sign him? Well, they're using Sterling. And I'm saying he should go to United or Chelsea before somebody who actually needs a left winger comes in for him. Then City bought him in 2.5 days, and I was like, shit. But today, Doku, outstanding. I mean, he hit the griddy once, and he just never stopped. I mean, 4 assists. That's some Paul Pogba numbers, that is. That's some Paul Pogba numbers, bro. And it could have been a hat-trick easily. And Pep intentionally gave him 90 minutes. Pep could have taken him off a long time ago. But Pep allowed him to destroy Bournemouth. I mean, I have no problem with that. Down the cherries, you know. It's not fruit season. But seriously, Jeremy Doku is probably the best left winger in the Premier League right now, based on form.
True.
It's very close between him and Heung-min Son based on form, but Son is playing as a 9, so I don't count him as a winger right now. Until Ange put him back on the wing, it's a whole different story. But Jeremy Doku, the Belgian Flash as they call him, and he's only 21. That's a big shame because he's going to be here for a while. Unless, you know, a certain Spanish team comes in and, you know, it's always a dream to play for one of those 2 teams. I'm talking Barcelona, so hopefully they get some money and just go and just take Doku. I know it won't be a hard decision for him, you know, but it was an outstanding performance individually, you know, and, you know, don't like this guy, but shout out Bernardo Silva. He was class today as well, man.
All right, and that's fair. On to the next report. A bald, white, middle-aged male has been seen being wheelbarrowed out of the Premier League headquarters today. Yesterday, my sources say, and he's been pushed all the way to the Midlands in the Championship. Of course, I'm not referring to any old bald man. Of course, I'm not certainly referring to Ten Hag or Pep. I'm referring to the other bald man that no one likes, Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor has been demoted to the Championship after recent refereeing woes and controversies, particularly in the Newcastle versus Wolves game, as well as the issues related to the previously mentioned VAR. Jackson, I think this is very fair. I think I'm actually sorry for the Championship. Genuinely, this man was so tragic. I have never seen the football world unite the way how it has to hearing his sacking. I mean, call it Happy New Year, a Christmas gift. I'm down for it. Jackson, what do you make of this sacking?
Bro, it's deserved, and we've spoken about Michael Oliver as well. He
Him
should be
next.
another one to be. He should go. You know, he should go. His mom does his hair. Look, Anthony Taylor to the champion. Look, it's like Anthony Taylor to the championship is like Conor Hurahan playing for Derby County in League One. Like, you can be better, but you kind of have to be here because you've not been good. So live with it. I mean, look, I can't believe he's still doing international games. I can't believe the Saudi Pro League wanted him to be a ref there. I mean, they probably would have killed him. And I'm saying that as lightly as I possibly can. We know how they can be. But look, he's gone. So it's not a quick fix, but it is a step in the right direction. That kid, what's his name? I think Jared Gillett, he's the Australian ref that they do have. And I'll be completely honest, he's not been a bad ref, right? When it comes to on-field decisions, you know, VAR does make him look bad, but in terms of on-field decisions, he's not been a bad ref. Maybe more of those outsourced referees. Maybe you can get one from Germany. Maybe you can get one from, I don't know, Denmark or Slovakia and get some, you know, more influx. Get some Italian refs who are not afraid to get in the players' faces as well. But Taylor out. I saw the new ref. I think she was the fourth official at the United game.
Yeah. I saw that as well.
She's getting groomed into this. Hopefully she's not one of them. I mean, look, the worst thing is to put a female ref in there and then there's a mistake and it was her fault. We know what's gonna happen. And we can't allow that, bro. We just can't allow that, bro. Hopefully she's at the level of a Sean Maciellis when she just came into the Premier League, and it made everything better, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, Anthony probably get 99 lashes for going into the female section for shampoo. Moving on from him though to the best of the year, the FIFA's Ballon d'Or. 442's reference, guys, for those who know. Messi, Lionel, has been crowned their 2023 Ballon d'Or winner. Over 100 points more than Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
This is his 8th. He is infinite. He has, as he always done, been the greatest of all time. Aside from him, another Barcelona product being Aitana Bonmati picked up the females version, which Khadija Bonny Shaw, the Jamaican, finished 24th. So fully applaud her. Amazing stuff. To even be in the Ballon d'Or shortlist is such a big thing, and you finished 24th. That's amazing. Bellingham picked up the Copa Trophy over Jamal Musiala, which I do not like because I'm pretty sure Musiala has been better than Bellingham since the season. He has more goals, more assists, and more trophies. I don't know why they didn't give it to Musiala. The Levi Shin Trophy went to the one and truly best goalkeeper in the world. Well, not really though, because he finished 15th and another goalkeeper finished 13th, which just doesn't make any sense. But you know, the best goalkeeper in the world is Emi Martinez. Who would have thought that Aston Villa keeper would have been winning that award? And then everyone and their moms and Cristiano Ronaldo's fans, tears overflowing, flooding out Paris. Haaland won the Gerd Muller Trophy, which is essentially the trophy. Hey, I scored a crap ton of goals, but I still could not beat the Ballon d'Or because I offered nothing else to the team. Jackson, what do you make of that ceremony? I heard a certain Englishman with a big head snuck in, Harry Maguire, awaiting his Ballon d'Or next year. What do you make of this? Because it actually was a very interesting ceremony. City won men's team of the year, Barcelona, as they should won the females player of the year, females team of the year, I should say. What do you make of the entire ceremony?
Yeah, I mean, look, respect for the Ballon d'Or went out the window when Ribéry didn't win it in 2013 or Iniesta didn't win it in 2014. So,
Iniesta was not the best player for Barca, and he was not the best player for Spain.
He won everything.
Yeah, but he was not the best player for Spain.
Instrumental to it. That's the thing.
But the main man was David Villa, remember? And for Barcelona, it was Leo
But David
Messi.
Villa didn't win it either.
But he didn't
Was
deserve to
Messi.
win it. Messi did all the heavy
What
lifting.
did he do? He got 4-0 from Germany.
That doesn't
Iniesta
matter.
beat them 1-0.
That doesn't matter. The biggest robbery was when Ribery got it. He won the sextuple that year, and no one said anything when Cristiano won it. That
Bro,
snake.
everybody said everything. It should have either been Ribery or Robin. It should have been one of them two because they were Bayern. But 2014, it should have been Xavi or Iniesta because they were on that Barca team. They won everything. They won the World Cup. They were instrumental, etc. Right? There are some people who are saying even Neuer should have gotten a shot. I don't even know where they're getting that from. I got the wrong years. 2010 was the year I'm thinking about for Iniesta.
Yeah, because I was wondering, 2014.
Yeah, 2014, they wanted Neuer to win it, but goalkeepers don't get anything. That's why they made the Yashin Trophy. I think they should make one for defenders because I don't think a defender will ever win the Ballon d'Or. I mean, can you believe you score, 20 goals? Probably say you have a season like Steve Bruce in '93. You score 20 goals, you're the team's leading goal scorer. Your team keeps the most clean sheets in Europe, but you don't win it because freaking James Wilson from Salford City scores 40 goals. What? That's the thing. And look, the best player, let's be honest, the best player, it should have come from Man City, and we hate saying this. It should have either been Julian Alvarez or it should have been Rodri. There was no two ways about it. Now, maybe French football could have done their trickery and snuck in Mbappe, but he wants to leave PSG, so obviously they wouldn't do that. That ruined it for him. But the Ballon d'Or ceremony, people saying Haaland, he scored goals, that was it. So he got the goal scoring award. That was it. I mean, bro doesn't know how to take a touch apart from a tapping.
And that's why he doesn't deserve to win it. Alvarez, similarly to Iniesta, as to why he didn't win it. He won everything he physically could win. However, he was not the main or most instrumental player on the team. Arguably top 3 for Argentina, but he was still overshadowed by Messi. Arguably better than Haaland, but just Haaland got a lot more goals and a lot more time in the team. And that's the only reason why he didn't get it. But still credits to Messi, credits to Alvarez finishing 7th in the Ballon d'Or. Never think I'd see the day when Messi's successor would come so quickly. Of course, he'll never live up to the legacy of him. However, he shall win the World Cup with Argentina. And I'm deeming it in the next 3 World Cups, that's 12 years' times, Julian Alvarez will lift the trophy with Argentina. I'm manifesting that from now.
Yeah, you can go ahead, man. And instead we're not focusing just on the men. Shout out to women as well. Sam Kerr finishing second, the Australian assassin. That's as best as I can put it. She had an excellent season. Mary Earps, the English goalkeeper, she finished 5th. That's probably the highest a goalkeeper's ever finished. I think Neuer was a bit higher. I think Neuer finished 3rd in 2014. Yeah. And I have to shout out to Bonnie Shaw because I think she's the highest ever Jamaican place in the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Because I can't really think of anybody else that made it this far. I don't want to count Sterling because he never represented us. So she's doing well. She's playing well for Man City as well. It's all good. So congrats to everyone who went and got awards.
Congratulations, and congratulations to the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, Harold Maguire from Manchester United.
If that happens, bro, I'm telling you now, I'm buying his jersey and I'm going to buy it for double the price. I'm telling
you. All right, fair. Let's wait. And the final topic now is somewhat of a very serious issue, right? And I know we're not very political. We're not politically affiliated. We dish out boxes. We dish out criticism equally. However, minds, what have you done? What are you doing? Your public opinion and your entire moral perspective has just been dumped out the window, as well as your stocks. Sacking Anwar El Ghazi for his pro-Palestine comments when he himself has a links to the Palestine people. It's caused serious uproar, I should say, and a massive rage even in the football community recently. I believe it was yesterday, the day before that, he was sacked after his pro-Palestine comments and questions of freedom of speech. The rights of footballers have been brought up. People wanted, for instance, Mohamed Salah to say it. They wanted the Premier League to come out and say stuff. And it's crazy that as a man with principle, he gave up his entire livelihood to stand by what he believed in. And frankly, what is just a brutal genocide of the Palestine people. I don't care what any source tells you. Whatever Israel is doing right now is not justified, right? I don't care for a West. I don't care for from the West. The West has its priorities in their political sense, but the West, being us and here at the GZ Sports community, also have priorities as it relates to humanitarian principles. We are men of principles. We may not believe in equal rights, but we do believe in equal fights. And this fight is not equal as it stands. Jackson, what do you make of this?
Listen, there have been a few footballers who have been pro-Palestine, who have been on the side, and we've seen what happened with them. You know, they have to take it down or anything like that. Basically, they're just saying to stay out of the politics. They're just trying to stay out of the politics. We don't want any type of bad publicity on our end, and that's ultimately what it comes back down to. You know, it's all down to money. El Ghazi was initially suspended. They brought him back. Then they got rid of him. You know, it's like Mason Greenwood, but the only difference is this is on a worldwide scale. It's not on a personal level.
Yeah.
And look, I don't condone the violence, obviously, but with Israel, I said it before that the Israel and Hamas thing was like, I don't know if you've ever listened to Eminem's song Godzilla, or even watched the music video.
I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and I feel like Godzilla.
Exactly. There was a part in the music video where a guy pulled the gun
and he pulled out the rocket launcher. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's exactly what happened in real life. They just never stop shooting. That's what happened.
Yep.
And that's what I saw it for. I always saw it as, guys, the powerhouse Israel can be in terms of war. And, this is why they don't pick sides in Russia, Ukraine, because that would have already been done. Like, they'll probably just kill both countries off and just take the land themselves. But...
Oh, God, I'm sorry for laughing.
No, for real. I'm not kidding. Israel will probably just do that. They're like that in war. But, bro, I'm speechless in regards to this because I don't think a footballer should lose his livelihood for it. Now, obviously, El Ghazi will be getting a new contract. He'll get a contract somewhere else. It doesn't have to be in Germany. He could go back to the Netherlands and get a contract back to his homeland. He could even go to the Israeli Premier, right?
Nope. No chance.
There's no chance of that. Sorry, forgot my train of thought there. But he does have other places he can go, right? So he will be a footballer in the man. He could go to China if he does please. He could go to Saudi Arabia probably. But it's just not right to see. It's just not right to see whatsoever.
Genuinely is not. But we have to end on a serious note. Thank you guys for listening, for tuning in today. It has been Brandy Savage with the GZ Sports Transfer Roundup, aka the Savage Slaughterhouse, bringing you the last place to get the news. Jackson, is there anything you want to say to the people before we wrap up this show and before I wallow in self-pity whilst falling asleep to Mariah Carey?
Yeah, it's that time of the year now that she's already tweeted it as well. All I'm gonna say is we do have a game, don't we? We have a game at the stadium in the office. Yeah. Oh my God. I've already gotten a group of people. I was like, yo, guys, you're going to the game. They're like, who do you want to watch Jamaica? I said, bro, we're playing Canada. They're like, Alfonso Davies. Of course we're going. And that's the point right now. We've got Alfonso Davies in the stadium. Of course the stadium's going to be full, bro. We're going to have buying shirts galore. And that's on the 17th. So I just want to apologize beforehand in case there is no show on the 19th. We probably haven't recovered from the day. So we're gonna see if we can if we can meet the players, speak to probably even Al Grimson, probably even speak to Davies, ask him about this Real Madrid thing. And who knows, ask him what's going on Ask Jonathan David if he's not tired of freaking French food by now. If he's not gonna leave anytime soon, you know?
You can switch to baguettes, Rocky, and saltfish as Waterhouse will accommodate you, my friend.
Fucking hell, bro. You see, this is what. But you know what? I'm not even gonna bring up the Jamaica Premier League. We're gonna watch those games tomorrow, and we'll decide. But guys, again, thanks for watching. We do appreciate your continuous support. We know that for some reason there are a lot of Scottish people in this feed. I have no idea why. It all happened with Hibernian and this guy and Birmingham, and we don't want
with
to
him.
that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And we'll have Friday. This was just a surprise episode, so bro didn't know about it, and yeah, we just try to get this out of the way. If we had him on the show, it would have been much longer than the hour we've been. So
Yeah,
we'll see you guys next week, and vamos.